Hey, it's Danielle with BigCommerce. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about how to make your real-time shipping quotes more accurate. Often I hear from clients that, hey, we're using USPS real-time quotes, or we're using UPS or FedEx, and the quotes that are coming up in the cart are just way too high. And that can be a real killer for your conversion rate because you obviously don't want shoppers getting to the checkout and seeing, whoa, it's going to be $50 to ship this small item. So I'm going to show you a few things you can check to make sure that your shipping quotes are accurate and reflective of what it's actually going to cost you to ship the product out, so that your customers will have good shipping quotes that aren't providing a sticker shock when they get to checkout. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you've correctly entered the weights and dimensions for your products. So if you want to look on a product by product basis, like let's say you've noticed that orders with a certain product are coming up really high with their shipping quotes, you can just come in here to your products area. You can click on the product. And then you'll see the weight right here at the top. And then the other dimensions are going to be down here at the bottom. So here's your weight, width, height, and depth. Now, one thing I see quite often is a lot of times people have either forgotten to enter some of these, or maybe they entered the dimensions but not the weight. All four of those things factor into your real-time quotes, so make sure that you filled them all out and that they're accurate. Another thing to note is that if you have variants for your products, so let's say a product comes in 3 different sizes, if those sizes are going to have materially different dimensions or weights, so let's say you sell a lamp and it comes in 3 different sizes, and one is a desktop lamp and one is a floor lamp. Obviously they're going to have different dimensions. So if you have those set up as variants, you want to make sure that you come in here and you actually adjust the weight and the dimensions for those variants. So you can come over here to edit columns, and then you'll see there are actually columns for weight, width, height, and depth. So you can come in here and you can change those on a variant by variant basis. That's really important to note. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your settings are configured properly for how you've entered that information for the dimensions. So if you come in here and you go down to the website section of your settings, you'll see here it has your weight measurement. Currently it's set to ounces. If yours are configured to pounds, but you've entered the information in ounces, that could definitely be causing a problem with your shipping quotes. You want to make sure the length measurement is set properly. So if you've entered them in centimeters, but it's calculating in inches, that again could potentially really throw off your shipping quotes. And then down here, this is something a lot of people don't know about, the factoring dimension. So essentially, if you think about, let's say you have a ruler. If you enter the dimensions as 12 inches long, let's say 1/4 of an inch deep and 1 inch wide, okay? If you put the 12 inches in the depth and you've got the factoring dimension set as depth, the system is going to look at that when it tries to figure out what size box you need. It's going to imagine stacking them lengthwise on top of each other. So 2 in a box would actually be 24 inches. That's going to make your shipping quotes wildly inaccurate. So for something like a ruler, we want, or really any product, we want the smallest dimension to always be in the depth if you have the factoring dimension set to depth. So forget about how the product actually looks in real life, but if you've got a product that's 12 inches by 6 inches by 2 inches, always put 2 inches in the depth. That's going to ensure that the system is stacking the products virtually in the proper way, so that when it calculates the size of the box needed to ship the products out, it's the right calculation, and it's going to then give you the right quote at the end of the day. So make sure that you have this set properly. If you've entered all the information with the smallest one in width, then change this to width. But you want to be consistent, especially if you're importing your product information. Make sure that you're just consistent and you always put the smallest measurement in the same column, either with height or depth, and then set that smallest dimension here in the factoring dimensions. So I hope that that's helped you figure out why your shipping calculations might be off. I've given you a couple different things you can look at. Sometimes it's a combination of the 3. And the final thing you can look at is to just make sure that you are actually connected to the right shipping account. I've had some clients where they have multiple shipping accounts, maybe with UPS or FedEx. Maybe one has a discount applied to it and the other one doesn't, and they've connected to the wrong account. So that's another final thing that you can look at. But basically making sure that you've entered the correct weights and dimensions, making sure that you've added those weights and dimensions to any variants that are different sizes, and then checking your store settings to make sure you've configured the dimensions, the weight, and the factoring dimension correctly. Those are all going to ensure that you get the proper shipping calculations at checkout and that your customers are getting quotes that are reasonable and aren't going to stop them from checking out. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, go ahead and click the like button. And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll get notified of new videos as I release them. And of course, if you have any questions or need help with your store, feel free to visit my website at ducksoupeCommerce.com. I'm always happy to speak with new merchants and help them with their stores, whether you're launching a new e-commerce business, migrating to BigCommerce, need help with your design. You can always schedule a consultation with me there or set up a call.